Seen a couple of your faces earlier today or last night, and I see some faces on here that I miss dearly. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Sandy Sedmak Engel. I am a figurative and caustic painter, and I am also the chairman of the board of the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show. So we're super happy that you're here with us tonight. Congratulations on being part of, I'm going to toot this as long as I can, the #1 art show, the #1 fine art show in the country, as voted by artists. So we're excited you're here. We're excited to put on the best possible virtual event that we can. And we're going to share some information with you guys tonight to help you out to make sure the weekend goes really smoothly. To let you know before we start, I see most of you have muted yourselves, but if you have not muted yourself, please do so during the presentation. And we're going to have a Q&A after it's over. And also, does everyone know how to open up the chat room inside of a Zoom meeting? Is there I see like
nope.
Thumbs up, okay. Wherever you hover your mouse and you see the controls for the Zoom meeting, on mine, I'm on my laptop, it's at the bottom of the screen. You should see a little talk bubble that says chat. So if you go ahead and open that up, if you have, I see some people popping in, hi. Is there anyone that can't find it? I think, okay. If you have questions during the presentation, rather than like raising your hand or asking your questions verbally, go ahead and type them into the chat room. And we've got Chris Bonamo, who is, where did he go? Oh, there he is. One of our board members, and Steve Oliver, our director, here with us. Chris, some of you may know Chris just from the circuit, and he has also taken over our ever increasingly popular Thursday night 5 o'clock club. So he's our king of Facebook on the board. So he'll be able to answer some questions for you. So, okay, everybody good? Everybody in chat? All righty.
Do I have permission to record?
Sure. Yeah. If you would like to record, go ahead. Just keep it to yourself. Just so you know, this recording and the PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to share with you in just a minute are going to go up on our website under information for artists. So everything we share with you tonight will be available. But if you would like to, I don't know if you're actually allowed to record, Michael.
Well, I did press record and it said ask for permission.
Okay. Well, you know what? Technically, this is the property of the show. So I actually legally don't have permission to give you.
All right. No worries.
Yeah, but again, these videos will be up on the website. Yes. So you'll be able to watch them. Okay. All right, Steve, if you could give me the spotlight, please.
I think you're already spotlighted.
I am not. You
Okay.
just are in speaker view.
I just canceled spotlight. Okay.
All right. It doesn't matter. You guys, this is our third meeting in less than 24 hours. So we might be a little punchy. We're a little tired. So bear with us. All right. I am just going to go ahead and share my screen. And we're just going to get started with our presentation. Oh my goodness. There's people in the waiting room.
Yes.
All right. Bear with me, guys. I seem to have lost. There's so much stuff on my screen. I can't find the button to actually share the presentation instead of the background. Bear with me. Okay, here we go. Can everyone see my screen now? If there's anyone who can't see the screen, please type it into chat. and let me know. And then Chris or Steve, if you could give me a thumbs up, you can see the screen. Okay.
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. So like I said, welcome to the June 2021 virtual edition of the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show. We are going into our 94th year. We were voted, we're consistently in the top 20 shows in the country, but 2020, we were voted #1 by Sunshine Artists. We've worked really hard. We're really proud of that. And we are glad to have such a talented crew of artists exhibiting with us this year, as always. And just to let you know, I know a lot of you know us, a lot of you are new to us. Our entire board of directors consists of professional artists who participate in the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show. That's one of the conditions of being on the board. So we are 100% invested in giving you guys the best possible.
When you're
show.
joining a Zoom
Whoa!
thing,
Somebody just scared me. Everybody's supposed to be muted. Steve, can you please mute everyone but me?
I think everybody is.
Well, somebody wasn't. Whoever you are, you just scared me. I hope you all are amused. Anyway, like I said, our entire board are professional artists who participate in the show. We depend on art shows for our livelihood, just like you guys. So we work as hard as we possibly can to put on an amazing fine art show. We are a nonprofit, so we don't take sponsorships. We keep the focus on the arts and the artists. Just our legal disclaimer, even though this is a virtual show, this is still a Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Association event, and you are expected to conduct yourselves with professionalism during your live events. You will be representing our show, and in accordance with the rules of the show, in any of if you're doing a Zoom booth, a Facebook Live, or an Instagram interview, the only work that you are permitted to share is the original fine artwork with which you juried into our show in that category. Yeah, and sorry guys. So we don't want to see you selling any prints, any merchandise. Just like if we were in the square, this is a fine arts only show. And the show does reserve the right to terminate your event at any time if these guidelines are not enforced. We have never had to do that. We don't want to do that because our artists are the best and completely professional, but for legal reasons, we have to review those standards. The more that we can get you guys as artists to follow us and share information about the show, the better the show is going to be for us and the more successful it is going to be for you guys. I'm sure most of you have learned a lot about working with social media over the past year if you weren't active with it before. When you apply to our show, you give us permission to add you to our email list. There are some artists that drop off that list. If you are one of them, I would encourage you to go to our website and resubscribe to our email list. We send out emails at least once a month, and before the show, at least weekly. We have almost 4,000 people on our list, 4,000 patrons that look forward to hearing from us. We've been doing Meet the Artist emails. We're going to be talking about the show. We're going to be introducing our featured artist. So it's a really good idea for you guys to keep on top of what we're sharing with our audience. If you have not done so already, and especially if you are doing an Instagram interview, you should follow us on Instagram where we are at Rittenhouse Square Art. It's another great way to keep involved, share information about the show. And you should be liking and following us on our Facebook page. All these are the live links, and they are going to be shared on the website. But again, if you guys aren't following us on Instagram, following us on Facebook, I strongly, strongly encourage you to do so, to get involved with all the social media that we've got going out. We've got 2 to 3 posts going out a day, and we have for the last several weeks, and we're building up a real buzz about this virtual event. We also, I think it was right before our September show, started a YouTube channel. And the link to that, this kind of is a weird looking link, but the link to that is here. When you do a live event with us, whether it's a 5 o'clock club or a Facebook Live, those events stay on our pages for patrons to watch even after the event. And then we download all of your demonstrations, et cetera, and put them on our YouTube channel. So it's a great idea to go to our YouTube channel, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't get notices. It just helps us build up buzz about the show. And after your event, you'll be able to go to that YouTube channel, get the link that we have posted to your live event from the weekend of the show, and share that with all your patrons, put it on your website. So you're going to get more action after the weekend of the show by participating with us in June. We also, this is really, really tiny. We recently refreshed our presence on Twitter. We have probably only been back on Twitter for a month or so, so we're building a following there. But we do encourage you, if you're on Twitter, to go to us at it's twitter.com/square_fine and interact with us there as well. Like I said, the more you guys interact, the better the show is going to be for everybody involved. Just some really what may seem obvious checkpoints to being involved in a virtual show. You should be set up to sell your artwork online. If you don't have a website that has the capability of setting up a store right on your site, you could set up a store on Etsy. You could do something through PayPal. There are so many different ways to make your work available online, and your patrons the first weekend in June are going to want to buy from you. So make sure you've got a way for them to access your artwork. When you are participating in a live event with us, whether it's an Instagram interview, a Facebook Live, or you're doing a Zoom booth, which is a lot of fun, you really want to make sure that you have a very stable internet connection. I live in an old house in Baltimore City, so when I go on to Zoom meetings or do a presentation, I plug my device in with an Ethernet cable. I plug it right into the back of my router, plug it into my device, so I get a stable connection. You can get an Ethernet cable for $10 or $15. It's a cheap fix to getting a nice solid connection. I strongly encourage you to check out the connection where you're planning on conducting your demonstration or participating in your interview, and making sure that it's stable, so that the weekend of the show we can have a steady, flawless flow of events. We are booked solid the entire weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, for interviews and Facebook Lives, and our patrons are excited. So it would be sad if it was your time to shine and you didn't check out your connection or buy an Ethernet cable, or and then all the hard work you put into your presentation got lost. So easy fix. Another very strong recommendation is that most of these events are going to be happening on your mobile phones. Please make sure before you start your event or you join your Instagram interview with one of our board members that your phone, your device, is on like silent mode or light mode. You want to make sure your ringers are turned off, your notifications are turned off, so that during your event, I had this happen to me, I think it was last summer. I was doing a 5 o'clock club. I forgot to turn off my ringer, and a client called me 3 times in a row. Right in the beginning of the event, there was nothing I can do. It disrupted the event, and it was really embarrassing. So lesson learned from my mistake, turn off the sounds on your device. Make sure that on your own personal website, you've got information about the Rittenhouse Square Fine Arts Show. Make sure that there is a link to our website or to your personal artist page, which is going to show the artist pages on our website. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to check them out yet. They've been up for a couple weeks. They've got a photograph of you in the studio. They've got a photograph of your work, where you're from. They've got a link to your website. And they also have links and schedules about what events you are participating in. So if you are doing a Zoom booth, it's got the hours you're going to be open and the link for people to attend. If you're doing an interview, it's got the date and time. If you're doing a Facebook Live, same thing, date and time. They've got clicks right to the schedule. So make sure that on your own personal sites and your own personal social media, you are making that information available to the patrons. We're trying the hardest we can to give our patrons the experience of actually being at a show. So the more involved everyone is, the better it's going to be for them. They might be going to Chris's site to check something out, and as their Chris's artist page, but as they go into the website, they might see a piece by John Parnell or Steve Oliver, and then start browsing the site, come to your events. So we're all here to help each other out. If you are going to, this is a funny thing for me, because when I'm at home, I can never get my lights right, but check your lights. If you need to have lighting, position the lights in front of you, not behind you, so that you're not blinding your audience and your guests when they come into your event. And if possible at all, use a microphone, especially in our Facebook Live events. If you are moving around a lot in your studio as you demo, the further you move from your device, the sound will break up. So it doesn't have to be a microphone like I've got on tonight. It can just be a set of earbuds that has a little microphone that hangs on the cord, a $15, like go to Amazon, a $15 set of earbuds with a microphone. It's going to make a huge difference in the clarity of your presentation. And if your guests or the patrons can't hear what you're talking about, they're going to lose interest. So make that inexpensive investment in a microphone, a device that has a microphone. It's a really good idea to, before your interview or before your presentation, to, excuse me guys, allergies. Position your device on a tripod for stability rather than trying to hold it when you're talking during an interview. Even if you're doing a Facebook Live and you have a friend or your partner filming you, I would strongly recommend that you stabilize your device on a tripod. And if they have to move around with you, or if you'd like to move the phone closer to pieces, move it on that tripod. Don't hold it in your hands. When you hold it in your hands, it tends to shake a lot more than if you've got it screwed into a tripod. Any questions or anything yet, Chris? Are we doing okay?
We're doing good.
All right. And here is our silly little funny guy. This may sound dumb, you guys, but when you're in your interview, when you are in your, when you're presenting your demonstration, be positive, be engaged, smile, look happy, be excited about what you're sharing. I mean, you can imagine, like, if you guys came to this meeting tonight and I was like, hi guys, let's get through this hour, you would be miserable. So this sounds dumb, sounds obvious, but be positive, be happy, be engaged. You guys put so much work into your art and it's so beautiful. You should be proud of that. You should be excited to share it. So positive mindset sells art. Okay, so now we're gonna break this up into 2 segments, and then at the end we're going to have questions. We're going to go through Instagram first because it's a lot more simple, and then we will go through Facebook Live. So once we are finished with the Instagram portion, if you don't feel like you have any questions and you don't want to hang around to the end for the Q&A, as long as Steve has had a chance to take attendance, then you guys are welcome to leave. And Facebook people, just be patient with us. This really is not going to take that long. Okay, Instagram interviews. We added them in our September virtual event. They were a huge hit. The patrons really got engaged with them. We had a lot of people tuning in to more than one interview a day. The interviews are about a 30-minute segment. Everyone who is doing an interview has a board member assigned to you. If you have not yet heard from that board member, you should be hearing from them, I would say, by the end of the week, so that the two of you have a chance to talk. If you don't already know each other, you can get to know each other a little bit. You can talk about, just go over some things that you'd like to talk about, so that when you're popping into your interview, you are comfortable. So when you are, Instagram and Facebook Live are platforms for phones. So if you are doing an Instagram interview, know that you are going to have to participate in the interview through your mobile device. You can't do it on a laptop. You can't do it on a desktop. You've got to do it through your phone. And I know a lot of you guys are going, really? You're telling us this? But you would be surprised that, even though we all lived through 2020, still not everyone is up to snuff on social media. So we're just making this, the basic nitty gritty. Again, we strongly suggest that you have a tripod to keep your phone still during your interview. I would strongly suggest that you practice an interview with a friend. Practice figuring out how to join an interview. We are going to go over that in just a minute. If you don't have a friend, or you don't have someone that you feel comfortable practicing with, please reach out to us. You can shoot an email to go on our website. The contact form goes right to Steve Oliver, our director, or you can reply to one of the 10,000 applications that we have sent you guys lately. And if Steve can't help you out, he will find someone on the board who can help you out, whether it's the person who's going to be interviewing you. But we would so much rather that you reached out for help than waited till the weekend of the interview and then couldn't figure out how to join the interview. Okay, now we're going to go over the basics, and we do have some pictures about what to look for. And again, all this information is going to be under Information for Artists on our website. So you need to have, you need to go onto Instagram. As I said before, you need to follow us at Rittenhouse Square Art. That's going to make things so much easier for you. The weekend of the interviews, the board member who is interviewing you will start the live feed on our Rittenhouse Instagram page. So you, as the interviewee, will have to log into your personal Instagram account and tune into our live video on your phone. And for those of you who aren't familiar what to look for, we're going to show you a picture in just a minute. Once you tune into that video, where you will see the board member that you're going to be working with, a little button is going to pop up, and you are going to hit you're going to tap a request to join the live video. Again, I apologize, guys. Third meeting, less than 24 hours. I'm a little tired. And then you send that request to join the interview. The interviewee will then see that you are asking to join the live video. They will accept your request, and you're going to get a notice that your request has been accepted and that you're about to go live. So you will have a few seconds to prepare yourself to join the interview. Again, this is all happening on your mobile phone. And then once we accept your invitation to join, you will see the screen split. More than likely, the board member will be at the top of the screen. You will be at the bottom of the screen, and the interview will begin. People will be able to ask questions and comment as the interview is happening. And I would suggest, maybe you're sitting in your studio, you're sitting in front of some of your artwork so people can get an idea about what you create while you're interviewing. Okay. So pretend this is the top of your phone. So you are going to log into Instagram just like you were scrolling around looking for stuff to look at. And at the tops of your phones, like if you guys have your phones with you now and you're not familiar with this, if you look at Instagram, you'll see a bunch of circles that look just like this on the top of your feed. When someone that you follow is going live, the circle starts to activate, it starts to spin, and this button live comes up. So during your time segment, like if you're at 2 o'clock on Saturday, you'll go into Instagram and you will look for our logo spinning live at the top of your phone screen. You will click that button to join our live feed. Making sense? Any questions, Chris?
So far, so good. No questions.
Okay, awesome. So here is, this is obviously not someone from our show, but when you join our live feed, you are going to see, say, Steve Oliver is interviewing you. You're going to see Steve here talking, introducing the show, introducing himself, and you're going to see a live button on top of the screen so that you'll know you're in the right place. Once you join, this little tab is going to come up that says send a request to be in, and it'll say Rittenhouse Square Fine Arts live video. You're going to tap this button and hit request. That is sending a request to us for you to join the video. And we will be on the lookout for that. So once your interview partner sees that and accepts it, a notification will come up on your phone that we have accepted your request to join the live video, and you'll start sharing live videos soon. It takes usually less than a minute, but it does give you a notification that you're about to go live. And then as soon as you've actually joined the interview, the screen splits, and the interview will start. So easy breezy. But again, I do suggest that you practice just to make sure that you see the buttons that are popping up, you know how to join a live feed. And if you can't find anybody to practice with, or you don't want to practice with anybody else, let us know and we will help you. And that is the end of our Instagram training. Is there anyone out there that would like to ask a specific question about an Instagram interview? If you have a question, please put it in the chat, or I can't see everyone right now and I can't see the chat. So Chris is going to have to let me know.
Do you hear me? This is Echo.
I can hear you, Echo, yes.
Yes. Okay, so I've never done anything with Instagram, and I do have an appointment for the interview on Instagram.
Okay.
I don't have a Facebook account. And I didn't know that it was only on a phone. Is it also going to be on the phone for the long weekend of the virtual show, the booth?
Well, you have to participate in the interview on a phone, on
Yes.
a mobile phone.
Will
So
it be also like that for the virtual booth on the phone?
The virtual booth, we had a help seminar on that last night, and that will be up on the website under information for artists by the end of the week. But a virtual booth is through your own personal Zoom meeting, and I would recommend that you run your virtual booth through a laptop or.
All right, that's what I wanted to know, because
Yeah.
the battery on a cell phone would go out quickly. And
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a whole different ballgame. But I would recommend, like I said, check our website towards the end of the week, and you will see information for artists. And the whole training session that we did last evening for the virtual booth and the PowerPoint that we put together will be up on our website for you to review. And then if you still have any questions, feel free to reach out.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. Any other questions specifically about doing an Instagram interview? Okay. Anything, Chris? Chris, you're muted, babe. Hold on. Steve, can you unmute Chris, please?
There we go.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was stuck in the chat.
That's okay.
The question was, is it better to be horizontal or vertical? And I was responding, vertical tends to be a little better. It fits most platforms better, and you don't run the risk of being sideways accidentally.
That is true. That is true. Now I feel a little differently about Facebook Live, but for Instagram, your phone vertically is just fine because you're in that kind of small rectangular box on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. So that's
Okay.
the only one that came up just now.
Okay, great. All right. Well, Steve, have you had a chance to check everyone in?
Yeah, there's a couple though that are a mystery to me. But
Okay.
Catherine, can you hear me? I'm trying to unmute.
Yes.
There we go. Who are you?
Catherine Subtle.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
What he politely meant to say could you please tell us your full name, Catherine?
Yes, I should have added my last name. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Do you
Okay,
see me?
What's
Yeah,
that?
he's just taken attendance because
Yeah.
everyone was required to attend.
I'm looking at a participant list. I'm not looking at any. And then the other one was Madison. I'm not sure who Madison is.
Hi, I'm Madison Griner. I'm one of the student artists.
Oh, welcome, Madison.
Thank you.
We're really excited that we're going to be able to include students again in the show. So we're glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Thanks. Thanks
Awesome.
for letting me participate.
Of course. Anybody else?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right, guys. So if you would like to hang around to hear about Facebook Live, you are obviously more than welcome. But if you are participating in an Instagram interview and you'd like to pop off, you are more than welcome to do so. And thank you so much for joining us. Oh, actually, that's not true. Did people leave already? I totally forgot to do something. That's okay. All right, we are going to move into Facebook Live. So I'm going to assume most of you that are left are going to be doing a Facebook Live demonstration. Again, just like Instagram, these demonstrations are via smartphone only on the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show Facebook page, not on your own Facebook page. I cannot stress that enough. We are going to be giving you directions about how to join us on the Rittenhouse Facebook page, not your own. In order to do that, we need the sign-in associated with we need the email associated with the sign in for your Facebook account. So like if you had to sign into Facebook and you signed in with stevo@hotmail.com, that's the email we need. So when you guys filled out the forms to apply, we asked you for an email. If you could please double check those forms, and if the email that you use to sign into Facebook is different than the email that you have provided to us, please let us know and send the correct email to our director, Steve Oliver. And you can send that, just like all the rest of the emails, to info@rittenhousesquareart.com. Okay, so once we have all those emails, we are going to be sending you an invitation to become an editor on the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show Facebook page. So we've had some problems with people's privacy settings on their own personal Facebook pages. If your privacy settings are set too high, you will not receive our notification. So we are asking our Facebook Live artists on Tuesday, June 1st, or even the evening of May 31st, to go into your Facebook privacy settings on your own account and unlock those privacy settings. Nothing terrible is going to happen, I promise. Chris, do you have any more details about those settings or no?
The most important thing is, one, the privacy settings, make sure that you're able to receive all notifications. But when we have your information, make sure it is your home, the email, like Sandy said, from your home Facebook page, not something that links to your art page or a business page, because we have a lot of trouble sending notifications to those. It has to be to your base Facebook page. So your
Yeah.
personal page is what winds up being easiest for us to send you the to be an editor.
Yeah.
So just
So
make
like
sure that
all of you who have business pages had to create a personal page in order to get that business page. So that's the sign in that we're looking for.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we can just punch your name in and send you a notification, easy breezy, but sometimes it doesn't work. So that's why we're asking for that email. Okay. So on Tuesday, June 1st, please be on the lookout for these invitations, and they are going to come via Facebook notifications. You'll get a little notice in your notifications that says Rittenhouse Square has invited you to be an editor. Okay. So once you receive that invitation, all you have to do is hit accept. That is all you have to do. If for some reason, the evening of June 1st, you have not received an invitation to become an editor, please reach out to Steve Oliver. A lot of you, his number is on our applications, and his email again is info@rittenhousesquareart.com, which you can just go to our website and fill out the contact form. That information goes directly to Steve, and he will let us know that we need to work with you a little further to set up your editor status. Making sense so far? Any questions in there, Chris?
I have a question for you, Sandy.
You don't get to ask questions, Steve Oliver. What's your question?
A little bit ago, you said that if anybody was just doing Instagram, they could leave, and then you kind of changed your mind a little bit.
I just wanted to share the graphic, but we'll be sharing that via an email anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have a question. Tanya asked, was there anything for Instagram that was missed? I'm not quite sure what she's asking there.
What she's talking about.
And then Jill Banks just asked, well, she said she tried an Instagram live test event outside today. There was no Wi-Fi available, and that is the problem there. The signal went out and paused, and the video was not able to be saved. Then got the message, you may not own the content, and the only way out was to delete the video. So I think you need a better connection outside to do something outside.
Right. So Jill, if you're going to be participating in an Instagram interview, make sure it is like if it inside your house, inside your studio, wherever you have the strongest internet connection. I know you just did a Facebook Live with us. You did a 5 o'clock club that went really well. So you should be able to get to a place where you have a stable connection. And again, I have physically hooked an Ethernet cable up to my phone with a little $10 device that I would show you guys, but if I unplugged it from my computer, I'd lose my connection. So just look around, make sure that you're in a space where that connection is going to be stable. Okay. Okay, moving on. All right, so this is where we're going to show you what to look for as you are getting ready to share your Facebook Live event. Once you have accepted our editor status, what that does is it gives you the ability to actually post on the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show Facebook page. We are asking that you guys only do so during the time that we're going to give you to do a dry run, to do a test, and during your event. Please do not go on this page and start posting anything before the show. We are only giving you editor status so that you can participate in a live event. So we are going to be going over in a minute. We're going to ask each of you either on Tuesday or Wednesday evening before the show between 8 and 9 to jump onto our page and do a 5-minute, we're going to call it, we're calling it a dry run, where you can go through the steps that we're about to go over and just pop on and say, hello, I'm Jill Banks. I'm excited to be part of the show. Obviously, if you're not Jill Banks, you use your own name. Talk a little bit, I'm going to be doing a Facebook Live Saturday at 1 o'clock. This is what I'm going to be doing. I really hope you join me, and then sign off. We just want to give you guys an opportunity to jump on our page, make sure you're comfortable connecting, and you can see how your video looks. And then the weekend of the show, you'll be all set to roll. So the way you go live is you go into Facebook, you will look for the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show page, which you all should know what it looks like because you all should be following it and looking at it on a daily basis. You are going to scroll down to where you see our little show logo, and you are going to hit create a post. Once you hit create a post, a little sub menu comes up and you are going to choose live video. Once you hit live video, it gives you, it kind of takes you through a couple of instructions. Like you'll have a few seconds before you actually start to go live, and then bam, you are going to be live on our Facebook page and you will start your presentation. Again, I strongly recommend you practice on your own pages. It's a great idea to go on your own page and just do a couple lives the week before the show to talk to people about what you're going to be doing, letting them know to come to the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show page. And that way you're going to be a lot more comfortable giving your presentation. So before we jump off tonight, we're getting close to the end. I would like each of you to tell Steve, if you want to go ahead and start putting it in chat, that's fine. If you would prefer to do a 5-minute test, it's going to be sometime between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please remember, our show runs on Eastern Standard Time. So all of our events, whether you're in California or Europe or Arizona, all of our events run Eastern Standard Time. So you're going to have to adjust your schedules accordingly to join us at the right time. So again, either Tuesday, the June 1st, or Wednesday, June 2nd, between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m., we're going to give you guys each a 5-minute block where we're going to enable your editor status so you can jump on our page and make sure you feel comfortable. Make sense? Any questions?
Nothing more.
Okay. So I pretty much just talked about this dry run time. We really just want to do this to give us peace of mind that the show is going to go smoothly, and to give you guys peace of mind that you feel confident and you know what you're doing, because everyone is working really hard on these presentations and we want them to go well. So after you do your little test, your dry run, you don't have to do anything else on our page. You just stay off of you interact on the Facebook page as a guest and a patron and like it and follow it. But right before, about 10 minutes before your actual event goes live, your editor status will be renewed. So you don't have to do anything else. Once you accept it the first time and you do your dry run, you are good. And then we will reactivate that status right before your event. Make sense?
Hey, Sandy.
Yes, sir.
Jill Banks had a question for, her question was for Facebook Live and for Zoom booths, or the virtual booths. Do you recommend horizontal or vertical?
Well, I am going to get into that. I personally, for Facebook Live, you know, I run my Zoom booth through my laptop, which is a horizontal orientation. And again, you can look at the Zoom booth training. I also join my own meeting as a guest, so I can walk people around. And I personally like the horizontal orientation, but you have to make sure that you've turned your phone horizontally before you get into Facebook or Zoom, or like Chris said earlier, you're going to be flipped over sideways. So you want to get on your phone, turn your phone into a landscape orientation, and then jump onto Facebook. I think it gives a better presentation for people watching on a tablet or a laptop, because they can see more of your space. You look a little bigger. You're not cut off at the sides. Did that answer the question, I hope, Jill? Okay. All right, guys. So the Facebook Live presentations are limited to 45 minutes. You will be given, like we said, we're going to reinstate your editor status. It'll be 5 to 10 minutes before the hour when you are supposed to connect, but please be ready to start right at your scheduled start time. I would even try to click in, like a minute before to get yourself oriented. Watch the clock. 45 minutes sounds like a really long time. I have never done one of our 5 o'clock clubs or a Facebook presentation where I ran out of stuff to say in 45 minutes. It's actually been just the opposite. It tends to go by really quickly. So that's another reason why we ask that you kind of plan your presentation out, you practice, you know what, the areas that you want to go over with the patrons and the guests. Your presentation must be a minimum of 30 minutes, because what we want to avoid is having our guests get excited to watch and learn about how you paint your birds or how you sculpt your wood, and they jump on it 20 minutes after the hour and you're gone. So we're asking for a minimum of 30 minutes, but a maximum of 45. If you go over 45 minutes, we will end up ending your presentation. I mean, obviously, if it's a minute or two over, we're not going to cut you off dry, but we have to end your presentation so that the next artist up has time to get ready and we have time to do what we need to do on the back end. So, so just be aware, practice, keep it to 45 minutes, but no less than 30. You may use up to 10 minutes of your presentation time to do a studio tour, to specifically walk people around your studio and show them close-ups of your work. But the majority of the time must be utilized for a demonstration or a presentation. What we are trying to avoid is having artists jump in and do 45 minutes of Home Shopping Network. Like, here's a piece, it costs this much, here's a piece. No, we want you to be able to share your work, and we want you to sell. It's a good idea to have signs up, usually printed backwards, with your website on them so people can see them as you're doing your demonstration. But the main focus of your 45 minutes should be giving your demonstration, talking about your process, talking about what inspires you. If you end up in a situation where you can't think of anything else to talk about, just keep working. Show people your tools. Talk about the kind of paint you use. If you find you're done demonstrating earlier than you thought, show some more close-ups of what you're working on. Again, talk about your process, talk about your tools, talk about your background, talk about doing art shows. Like I said, 45 minutes is not, you can fill 45 minutes pretty easily. We do ask, when you begin your presentation, just like with our 5 o'clock clubs that you introduce yourself as a participating artist in the June 2021 Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show. You can talk about, why you're excited to be part of the show. If you're an artist that has been with us for a long time, you can say, when we did shows in person, you would see my work on the corner of West Rittenhouse and Walnut Street, but give the patrons a connection to the park. Let people know if you are going to be taking questions. Our followers and our patrons love to ask questions during the presentations, and they do that via the chat. So you will be able to see the questions come up on the feed as you're filming, or if you have a helper, someone who is filming for you, it's a good idea to have them monitor the chat and ask you the questions that your guests want to know the answers to. But it's nice to let them know if you would like them to ask questions, and you'll be answering them throughout the presentation, which I kind of would suggest. It makes things really interesting. It also helps you as an artist feel more comfortable to keep talking and know that people are engaged with you. Or some people prefer to take all their questions on the last 10 minutes. Excuse me, after they've finished their demo, but just let the people know how you're going to be interacting and what's going to be happening. And again, I cannot stress enough that all the work that you present during any of these demonstrations must be only original fine art that is in accordance with the rules of our show and that is consistent with the work with which you applied and were accepted.
Hey, Sandy, can I just add one comment real quick?
Of course.
So as head of the 5 o'clock clubs, I have watched an awful lot of presentations, and I've done an awful lot myself as well. And I will tell you, Sandy's absolutely right. 45 minutes will go very quickly. Don't forget that you're talking to a crowd of customers and patrons that don't know how you make what you make. People are
Good point.
fascinated with the process. So don't gloss over things. They love seeing the brushes. They love seeing the tools because it's really unknown to them and it's really foreign to them. They get fascinated by that. So you can't act like you're talking to another artist because a lot of people don't understand what they're watching. So now I'm not saying dumb it down, but explain what you're doing. People, it makes it easier, and keep conversing, because when you go quiet too long, people want to hear you talk. They want to hear you talk as you work. So even if you're just talking to yourself, kind of Bob Ross style, go ahead, and because it's fun to listen to and it's more enjoyable for people to hear you talking as you're working. And do check your comments, because people love to leave comments and ask questions.
Yeah,
So
that's a really good point, Chris, and something I wish I would have thought of in our 2 o'clock training session is that, yeah, a lot of the people that are coming here, they're really coming here to learn. And they don't know, like I'm an encaustic painter. I have people that have collected my work for years that didn't realize it was done with beeswax. I assume everybody knows what this is. Chris is a sculptor and a painter. He never assumes that people understand his carving tools or what kind of wood he uses. Things that may seem really basic to you, people find fascinating. So good point. I'm glad you added that.
Thank you. And then Alice said, in her experience, Facebook has not let her go horizontal. But I know there's a way to do that.
Well, the way that you do that is it's not inside of Facebook, it's in your phone. Okay, so like here's my phone, and normally you talk on a phone like this. So before I log into Facebook, I literally switch my phone from, like I'm in portrait mode. I will switch it. I'm going to show you guys so everyone believes me. I'm going to switch my phone from portrait mode. Now I got to find it. To landscape mode. See? So that when I'm on my phone, before I'm going into any apps, my phone itself is in this horizontal orientation. And then when I log into Facebook, my video will be horizontal. So when people are looking at it on like a laptop or a PC, they're going to be able to see more of what you're sharing. But you have to do it before you go into Facebook. If you try to do this after you go into Facebook, you're going to be sideways. So, it works either way. I think that the presentation, you just have an opportunity to show them more of your space when it's in landscape mode. And then when you guys are done, make sure that you are thanking your guests for coming. Reiterate the fact that, thank you for coming to the June 2021 Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show Virtual Edition. We really now than ever, need you guys to be pushing the show. We are an all volunteer board. We are a nonprofit. We take no sponsorships. We put these shows on for the love of art and artists. And just like everyone, the last year and a half has been tough for us, and we want to keep our 94-year tradition going. So share, talk about the show, follow us, get our patrons excited, get other artists excited. And again, these are just some, little reminders that Facebook Live must be videoed through your phone or tablet. We just talked about turning your device into horizontal mode before you sign into Facebook. If you would like, if you're not comfortable with it or your tripod doesn't hold your phone that way, it's fine. Vertical is fine too. It's nice to have a co-host monitor your chat, someone to help you film. So someone to help you practice before the show. I can't stress enough how important it is to have some kind of a headphone or a microphone, especially if you're going to be moving around during your presentation. I mean, if you guys go onto our YouTube channel and look at some of the presentations, you can really tell when someone has a microphone on and when they don't, because if they move away from their device, it gets really hard to hear and it's not as interesting, and your guests and your patron may lose interest. Again, a little $10, $15 earbud set that has a microphone on it will work just fine. Make sure that you are turning your phone into silent mode. You're turning off your ringers, you're turning off your notifications before you go on live, because learn from my really embarrassing mistake. It's humiliating when your phone starts to ring and you're trying to be a professional artist, getting people to buy your work. And again, you've got 45 minutes. If you go too much longer, unfortunately, there's somebody in the waiting room, Steve. We are going to have to terminate your presentation. Okay, I got it. And it's a really good idea to go on your own Facebook page and practice going live. Talk about what you're going to do the weekend of the show. Just get comfortable. Look at your lighting. Look at, watch your videos back. Listen to your sound. Just so when you're coming on to do your presentation, you're comfortable. It's super professional, and people are going to be impressed by you and want to buy your art. Again, tripod is great, horizontal orientation. It's great to have a partner. It's great to answer the questions. You will have the Facebook Live events do stay on our Facebook page under videos, and you can go back in and interact with the chat on Facebook. Once they are uploaded onto the YouTube channel, you're welcome to share that link with anyone that you would like, but you will not, the chat is not visible once the video is taken onto YouTube. Again, we are stressing share, 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 share. Follow the show on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Start talking about the show, and on Instagram tagging everything about the show at Rittenhouse Square Art. Our other hashtag, our hashtags are Be Inspired. If you are going to post about the show on Facebook, add Rittenhouse Square, Philadelphia into the location of your post to start generating interest. But I can't stress enough how important it is to us and to you guys for all of our success, for you guys to get involved in our social media campaigns. We have made what seems like a very simple graphic that we would like all of our artists to start to share on their own social media platforms beginning at the end of the month. You can add it, like if you're doing an Instagram post that has 3 or 4 pictures in it, add this as one of your pictures. Same with Facebook. Share this in your emails. This is going to be made available to you on our website under information for artists in a couple of different formats for you to download. And it's basically our logo, our bright blue, purple color, and connect with me during the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show virtual edition. When a lot of people start sharing this same graphic and tagging us on Facebook, it creates a buzz. It's going to create more interest for the show. It's going to lead people back to you. It seems like a really simple thing to do, but you guys are just going to have to trust us when we say, if you share this graphic, whenever you're talking about the show, it's going to help you and it's going to help the show succeed. And again, this will be available on the Rittenhouse Square website under information for artists. And dun dun dun. That's all, folks. That's
Danny,
courtesy.
I just wanna
That's
add
courtesy of our director, Steve Oliver.
I just want to add one more thing on the Facebook. Do not worry about how many people are watching live at any given moment, because we get hundreds and hundreds of post live views. So once it goes onto our page, they get so many views. So it doesn't really matter. You could have nobody watching at that moment. Don't sweat it. It's going to get a ton of views. So it doesn't matter.
That's a really good point. Thanks for adding that, Chris. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, I did a presentation and there were maybe 20 people watching it, and now it's like 1,500 people have watched it, because people really love to watch the videos. They really want to know what you guys are up to as artists, what we're up to. They want to know what makes us tick about our lifestyles. So like Chris said, I mean, we do get a lot of interaction during the weekend of the show, but if in your particular event, you know, if you only see 5 people or 8 people watching, don't worry about it, because a lot of people are going to see what you are sharing. And again, if you want to put up, whether it's an Instagram interview or, you know, during your live event, it's a good idea to make your own little sign that has your website on it. So during your presentation, people can see your website, and that'll be like embedded in the video. Depending on what you do with your camera, some people print them backwards, because, you know, a lot of times when you're watching a presentation, everything is flipped. So when you're doing your test, if that's something you want to do, check it out. You know, print your website out regular and print it out backwards and see which way it looks better. So
we do have a question.
Sure.
From Laura Brady. She wants to know, as far as the Rittenhouse online gallery, can these be pieces that are also sold on the artist's website?
Well, here is the answer to that question, Laura. That's a good question, because we had this happen to a couple of artists last year. Once you submit to the online gallery, you have signed a contract that is agreeing that those pieces basically are available for sale by our show through the end of the show at 5 p.m. on June 6th. So if you, we had a couple of artists last year that left the work on their own websites, but had it on ours, but you would be legally required, if you sell that piece, to 20% of that sale would still go to the show. Excuse me. Does that make sense? Okay. Anybody else have any questions, any concerns, any Now is the time.
I do need to get those Tuesday or
Oh, okay. Yeah, why don't we just I'm gonna call out the names one by one. I'm assuming everybody that left is doing a Facebook Live. And if you guys could let Steve know whether you would prefer to do your 5-minute dry run test, like, hey, everybody, look at me, come see me during the show on Tuesday evening between 8 and 9 or Eastern Standard Time, or Wednesday evening between 8 and 9. And then Steve will be emailing you your specific like 5-10 minute time block. So Alice, you guys, I guess you guys can all, if you want to unmute yourselves.
Hi, Sandy. I'll do
Hi, Alice.
Tuesday.
Okay.
okay.
And we already know you know what you're doing. You've done such beautiful presentations with us.
Thank you.
Jim and Lynn.
And it's true.
We'll do Wednesday.
Okay. What did you want to add, Alice?
Well, it's true what Chris said, is that you know, when you're doing it, you feel like no one's watching, but then you can watch the numbers happen all week.
Yeah.
You know, so it's fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you shared that.
Paul. Oh, he's muted.
All right, you're going out of order. Laura Brady.
Wednesday works for me.
Okay.
Oh, the names are flipping around. Sorry, Steve.
That's all right. I have the list of the ones I need. That's all.
Oh, okay. Well, then you go right ahead, kind sir.
Where did Paul go? Paul.
I'm right here. I'll do Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yep, that
Right.
sounds good.
That's actually it.
Okay, so everyone else has a time slot?
Yeah, I do need to ask. There's an artist on here that's listed as Jonathan's iPhone. I don't know who that is. Could you tell me your last name, please?
My name's John Bandish.
Oh, hi, John. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I think you missed part of this.
I signed on at 7. I guess I was a little bit late.
Are you?
Yeah, it started at 6.
I apologize.
That's okay. The video and the PowerPoint are going to be shared on our website. I would really strongly encourage that they'll be up by the end of the week, that you go ahead and watch the whole thing just to make sure
Okay.
you're ready. And if you have any questions, please reach out.
Yeah, just
Okay.
we'll get back to you and help you out as much as we can.
Okay.
That's fine. Thank you.
All right. So everybody's got a time slot. All right, this is last call for questions, guys. Everybody feeling good, feeling comfortable? Have anything they needed to ask? All righty then. Well then, thank you for coming. We are super excited you're part of the show. I hope you're excited too. This is a really amazing show. We've worked so hard to put this virtual platform together. The entire board is like, if we have to do another virtual show, we're all like moving to, I don't know, Mars, because these shows are so much more work than the boots on the ground show. So fingers crossed for September that we can all be back in the park. But for now, let's make the best of it and get patrons excited, and you guys go out, do some beautiful demos and make some money. Okay. All right. Thanks for coming, guys. Have a great night.